While he tried to fathom everything that his great-great-grandfather had said, Dante heard Beatrice encourage him to express his thoughts and desires so he would learn to never quench his thirst for knowledge of Scripture. Dante then related to his great-great-grandfather that he had traveled through hell and mounted it through purgatory with Virgil. He wanted to know if the dismal future he was told about was true or if he would see her. Cassia Guidia then directly answered his seed conundrum or question. The plane of resistance which Father created has an endless amount of possibilities. However, the Father only allows possibilities which accomplish his plans. Will Dante be exiled from Florence? Yes. He would abandon everything beloved most tenderly, and this the arrow is which first the bow of banishment shoots forth. Thou shalt have proof of salt the bread of others, and how hard a road the going down and up another stairs. Canto 17, 55-60. To add insult to injury of having to eat and live in the homes of others. Dante would also have to, this company would be a group of 10,000 white guerrillas who would attempt to regain control of Florence. Seemingly, Dante would suggest it was futile. The army would be persistent. While Dante was in Azero, the 10,000 white Alaska Asigna, of course, is almost 2 miles away from Florence. 400 white glyphs would fall and the rest would be routed. The survivors would turn on Dante as if finding them was grounds for blaming him for their defeat. He would then become a soul exile, a man exiled from his birth city and party. There would come a time when Dante would venture to Verona. As he abided there, the Lord Bartolomeo della Scala would become a supporter. This man's family had a coat of arms which consisted of a golden ladder on a red background. Under King Granda the First della Scala, imperial vicar under the Holy Roman Emperor Henry VII, would change the coat of arms to have the letter mounted by the Lord Bartolomeo the First della Scala would be generous to Dante, while Pope Clement V would abandon the Holy Roman Emperor Henry. The Verossi Lord, or the Lord of Verona, would demonstrate his faith, generosity, love of labor, and hatred for prideful wealth. The exiled Dante would be among those who would be elevated in prosperity while the arrogant wealthy would be restricted. Though Dante would only experience a small portion of the Father's plan, his exile would factor into the judgment of those in Rome, like Pope Boniface VIII. There were other things that Dante was unable to write down. Cassia Guidia also instructed his great-great-grandson not to be covetous of his fellow citizens, as his fame all of them. The great Florentine poet had learned through his journey up to Mars to ask even uncomfortable questions. However, he had grown to believe that if he did not ask questions, even if they were uncomfortable, he was at risk of his name being forgotten. Even in light of the misfortune which he would suffer, Dante asked his great-great-grandfather if he could lose. Cassia told him that he understood his dilemma. Unconsciousness overcast, or with its own or with another shame, will taste forsook the tartness of Canto 17, 124 through 126. He, however, instructed Dante to speak truth still as the poem would serve as bittersweet instructions for his readers. Words will be compared to wind blasting high elevation. In fact, the souls of hell, purgatory, and heaven, which have spoken to Dante, or would speak to Dante, would be notable in his life. The same notoriety would be enjoyed by